why don't you tell us kind of who you are?
My name's Kim Fleury, and I'm a realtor.
And how long have you been in this business now?
I have been in the business since 2006, so 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you've seen ups and downs, crazy markets. You've seen it all.
I have.
And you've succeeded through it.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you know about this stat, but the failure rate in our industry is really high, right? 4 or 5 years, you can typically see the entire real estate industry turn over. So you've weathered all of these storms, and now you're obviously embarking on a new path here.
I left Black Diamond when I graduated from high school, and then I went to college in Lethbridge. And then after that, I moved to Calgary. So when I was about 20, I came to Calgary.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So you've seen a lot of the changes to our great city.
I have.
You've kind of been one of the lucky ones to see things change in the city and in the surrounding cities, for sure.
Right.
Maybe hint on some of that, because not everybody would have experienced that.
I've always lived in the inner city, so I've seen a lot of the growth taking place there, which is nice. Seeing all the development and the old areas becoming really trendy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then again, you see those historic ones that haven't changed at all.
Exactly, yeah.
Nice. Do you frequent the outskirts and stuff as much? Do you get into the small towns, and what do you notice there?
I do. I've pretty much sold in every small town surrounding Calgary. So, Acme, Linden, Turner Valley, Black Diamond, Okotoks, High River, Cochrane, every direction. So, I see they're growing and lots of development going on there too.
You would probably have a unique understanding of each of their own little value propositions more than most realtors, I would think. Just because you've had that chance to experience it and you've always been around it.
Right. Yeah, I do. I can see, it depends what people are looking for. For example, if you're looking at Okotoks or High River, there's quite a difference there. One is more of a small center where they're not going to have a lot of big box stores and stuff like that. Whereas if you want that kind of thing, but you don't want to live right in Calgary, Okotoks is a good option where you have Costco and Canadian Tire and Walmart and all the stores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mini metro.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, that's really neat.
Yeah.
So you've been in the real estate business for 12 years. What did you do before you got into this business?
Right before I got into real estate, I lived in the Bahamas. So I was working for a real estate development company there, and I was director of sales and marketing. And prior to that, I'd worked for a publishing company there doing graphic design. So I've always had, a lot of marketing experience and stuff like that. And that's what I was doing for the real estate company in addition to selling for them.
Wow, that's neat. Really neat.
Yeah.
Well, how did you get that gig?
I worked for the publishing company for 2.5 years, and I wanted to stay in the Bahamas, but I didn't want to stay at that company. So it was funny, when I moved there, they wanted everyone to sign this agreement saying that they wouldn't work anywhere else other than their company when they brought me there. So I was like, no, I can't sign that, because I love the Bahamas and I want to work. I may want to stay, yeah. Right? So I was like the only person who didn't sign it, of course. So then after I left the publishing company, I happened to know somebody who owned this development company, and they wanted to bring me on board. So I did that for a while, and it was fun.
So the seeds of your real estate were planted in the Bahamas.
Yeah, well, not exactly, because I've always loved real estate. Like, even before I moved there, I did a lot of real estate investing in Calgary and flipping and stuff like that. So, I've always had a passion for it, and my dad built homes, so I guess that's kind of where I got it, is just, growing up with that.
Yeah, you've been around it and got to put it into practice.
Exactly.
Got to do something really unique.
Yeah.
And then when you came back, did you get right into getting your license?
No, I didn't. What happened is my brother and I started investing in flipping properties, and the big thing for me was every Saturday morning I'd go get the Calgary Herald and read the real estate section. So I happened to stumble upon these condos that were for sale, and it was just one condo advertised, and so when I inquired about it, I found out there were 5, and we ended up buying all 5 of them and then flipping them. And it was kind of cool because we hit the market right at the perfect time. It was right before the big upswing in 2006. So,
oh yeah.
So we bought them, and within 2 months we made, lots of money.
Yeah, you did well.
Yeah.
Good timing, perfect time.
Yeah, it was perfect timing. So that's kind of where it all started. And then I thought, well, I might as well get my license since I'm going to be doing this. And then it's just evolved from there.
Well, that's really neat that you say that. You have this expertise that, again, a lot of people haven't experienced or maybe haven't been able to take advantage as being realtors. But you had it homegrown, you put it into practice, and now have a skill set and understanding that can really help consumers out.
Right.
Very cool, very cool. So making the decision to get your license was just an inevitable.
Yeah.
There wasn't just this aha, I was going to do this.
Yeah, I was going to do it for sure.
You had the sales, kind of this marketing background in advance prior to this. Maybe explain a little bit of what's come from that career that's really helped you succeed in now your real estate career from that.
Well, I think just having a strong background in marketing has helped me to market people's properties. And then, even before, I would always make up the flyers and stuff like that because I used to do graphic design. So I had a knack for that. And just, my background, like my university and college, was in communications. So, really just learning to network with people and get along and make deals happen and all that kind of stuff.
It sounds like the perfect lead up to our career. So yeah, marketing is such a huge thing in today's world, and you've got a background in it. And then again, the communication side is what we do day in and day out. So really neat to see that all come together.
Yeah.
Here's a fun one. So you've been doing this for 12 years and you did some sales prior to that. So what's your most favorite thing about selling real estate?
Well, I love everything about it, but my favorite thing is the negotiation. So I like to just, try and get my clients the best deal on either end, whether they're buying or selling, and, get as much money in their pockets or save them as much as I can if they're buying. And I just find it really challenging and fun. Like, I get a personal satisfaction when I can save my clients an extra $5,000 that they weren't expecting to save or something like that. So I love the negotiation. Even one time I had a client who gave me a personal challenge. They were people from the Bahamas that were coming here to buy a property, a condo. And so they said they wanted to offer a certain amount. And I said, no, I think you should go lower. And they said, really? And I was like, yeah. And then they said, if you get it for that price, we'll get you tickets to the Bahamas. So I said, okay, but we'd already written up the offer at that lower price. So I'm like, okay, usually you don't get the first price you go in with.
That's right.
And so I was like, but I really want those tickets. So I just played hardball, and I ended up getting it for them. So that was kind of cool. That
is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Bring you right back to, again, who wouldn't want to go back?
Yeah.
That's actually neat that career followed you here a little bit too.
Yeah.
That actually, that communication, that negotiation thing speaks a lot to your willingness to do that little extra.
Yeah.
Right? Where a lot of people might just kind of back off, but you've got your client's heart and interest in mind right to the end.
And another thing is, like, I rarely ever will let a deal die. I don't like to walk away without trying everything to hold something together, because quite often you'll see, we're a few $1,000s apart and neither person will give or take. And so I always try and come up with some creative way to keep it together.
For sure. You've come that far, and it's a shame to kind of let it go.
Exactly.
And you've been in the business long enough now to understand that there are ways to do that, to make that win-win.
Exactly.
Here's another fun one for you. So what's one of the craziest things that's come across your plate, or the stories that you've kind of dealt with along your real estate journey so far?
Well, one of the cutest stories I have actually is I took a family out to show them houses, and we were looking around, and all of a sudden the little boy comes out of the closet. Turns out he had peed in the closet.
Oh no.
So we were joking about that because Well, and thankfully the house was all empty and it was just hardwood, so I could quickly like clean it up. But we were joking, oh, he marked his territory. So just recently they've decided to sell that house and purchase another one. So we were out again looking, and I'm like, I really hope he pees in a closet soon.
So they did buy the house?
Yes, they did. Yeah,
oh, that's
that
incredible.
was the one they chose. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it would have been a little awkward if they didn't.
Yeah, I know, right?
The real estate version of break it or buy it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Again, we talked about your background around the city. We talked about your love for the inner city, and you've seen a lot of things change. The art of negotiation is near and dear to your heart. Do you have a particular niche that you like to kind of spend a lot of your focus on, whether it be where you market to or what you like to work with as far as clients and types?
Well, I've worked with like pretty much every kind of person you can imagine. But one thing that I do that I've had great success with is just, people call, or like they'll be looking online and I'll get their number or whatever, and I'll call them and they'll say, oh, I'm not ready yet. I have to do this. The bank said I couldn't get. So I've aligned myself with like the greatest mortgage broker, the greatest lawyer, home inspectors, all that kind of thing. And when you have those people working with you, you can really get things done. So I've helped people that said, oh, we can't buy right now, to actually bring the deal together and help them get into a home.
Yeah.
Whereas, sometimes they just think they can't do it right yet. So,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's neat. You'll go further and dive into their scenario to see how much value you can add to get them into maybe their dream home today.
Right.
When they didn't think that was possible.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah, because I just think that, I've seen over the years being a realtor, I'll see somebody and they'll say, oh, we don't want to buy, we're going to wait, right? We're going to do it next year. And then they wait too long because if the market goes up, they can't qualify or whatever. So I always try and encourage people, like, buy now, because in 2 years you could have so much equity in a home. And really, when you look at, successful people in the world, they all have, or not all, but a big chunk of them have done it through real estate. And so just try and encourage people to get their start there as soon as they can.
For sure, and take the fears away, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us don't make decisions because they're unanswered questions.
Right.
And it sounds like you're answering those questions and really allowing them to push ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
So here's an interesting one. We get this often. So when in search for a realtor, what do you think is something the consumer should be factoring into that decision?
Well, I think personally, when you're choosing a realtor, you really need to look at the experience they have, whether you actually click with them, that's really important, what they can bring to the table, how many, like what they're doing are they doing it full time? Is that their career? How long have they been doing it? What you can look at, how many days on market their listings usually sit, or those kinds of things. Like when I do go to a listing appointment, I bring all my stats so people can see what my track record is.
Yeah, it sounds like, again, a lot of people might maybe not be aware that the variance and the differences of the quality of an agent is out there.
That's right.
And might not even know the questions to ask, and that there truly is some tangible differences between, producers and those, like you said, that might not be doing this full time, might not be considering it craft.
Right. And I think, the experience thing is huge, because there's just been times when I've actually, really helped a client just because I've had so much experience, and I can go back and reflect on something similar that happened, whereas a newer agent or whatever, someone with less experience, just wouldn't know how to handle this situation. And I'm not saying don't hire a new realtor for sure, but I'm just saying make sure that they know what they're doing, right?
For sure.
Or they have somebody who's coaching them.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So yeah, we use the word we today, right? Because you're officially here with us, and I've been waiting to hear that for a little while. I'm excited to have you on board, and let's see really where we can really work together to launch your career to the next level that I know you're capable of. So thanks for choosing us. We're really honored, and it's go time.
Yay.
I'm giving
Let's
a hug.
go.
Can I do a hug?
Yeah. Thanks, Darren.
Yeah. So good.